how to find inner peace, the first thing is know who you are and what you are. And that's the first thing we must remember. Where did we come from? And that's why I use this mantra. This is full, that also is full. This fullness came from that fullness. Though this fullness came from that fullness remains forever full. So we cannot, it's abundant. The message there is, it's abundant. And what have we forgotten? That we came from this abundance, this light, this forever shining star, and we came into darkness. We chose this earth because we wanted to experience stuff with our five senses, our beautiful five senses. But instead of using these five senses to enjoy this earth by reminding ourselves that we're just visitors here, spiritual visitors here, and just constantly reminding ourselves of that, we use these five senses to go out into the world thinking that the pilgrimage is outside of us, that we have to go out somewhere to get it. And I love my master because he always used to say, make peace your God, make peace your God, make peace your God, and look within. And all the scriptures say the same. But human beings, we're so incredible. We read all this stuff and still we forget. We still forget that we are light. We think everybody else is light, and we forget that the divine is in us. He used to say to us, our master, the guru is within you. Remember that. There's nowhere to look. So what do you have to do in order to find it is remove the darkness. And where does the darkness live? In our thoughts. So they are thoughts. They are not who we are. We are spirit come here to live a meaningful life, whatever job we've been given, or whatever mission we've been given. How do you know what it is? Because there's an inner voice that tells you, follow your gift. We all have a gift in different avenues of life. We need all the different avenues in life to make this world work. But how do we live it, and how do we use it? Is it all for me? Because if it is, I guarantee one thing, you'll be really disappointed. The ego loves attention. The ego loves everything to come to itself. So if you get too involved in it, you will burn. And we call that tapas. And the spiritual study is, okay, when we learn that, we do start to burn. Because when we start to realize that it is all these attachments to these desires that stay in our mind, or the desire of the so-called outcome that we want, not what is designed for us. But if it's not working our way, then we are stressed and lose our control and lose our peace. And so because we've forgotten, that was never the mission. The mission was finding the peace in whatever work you do, not the stress in whatever work you do. And, when you start to realize the universe kind of works together with you. We really delved 5 days into the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is really the roadmap. If you haven't studied it, it's brilliant. It's a roadmap to how you find your inner self, and it's nothing to do with religion. Although you can use religion as a tool. So it doesn't matter if you have a religion, just make it a real religion of love. All religions teach us that, but mankind with their ego as normal will say this is better than the other, and this is where we have all the wars. So, hello, that wasn't the teaching in the first place. Wake up. The teaching was love one another as I loved you, and you can enjoy this earth. Really, I tell you, the world is not a terrible place, and that's what I want you to know. It is a beautiful place, and people are so talented, and they have so much to give. But because of the competition, because of ego, we forget that. So we're thinking, oh, what can I do? Compete, this, compete. There's no need to compete. You're the best you are when you're who you are. And that's how you find peace. You find who you are in yourself. and then you follow that path. And it doesn't matter where you are working, and whatever you do. And, money is a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful energy. There's nothing wrong with it. It's how you use it. It's how you use it. It's a gift. Share it, love it. It's an energy. We need it to live on this earth. But unfortunately, when people have too little money, they always worry about money. They have too much money, they always worry about money. This is the problem. We don't know how to balance. My master used to say, yoga is not for the one who sleeps too much or sleeps too little, eats too much or eats too little, works too much or works too little. Yoga is the person who practices the middle path. Balance everything in life. But of course, when we like something, we like to overdose in it, whatever it is. Once we like something, we want to over too much, we want more. And what happens? The more we want something, guess what? The more you go a little crazy. The desire overcomes you, who you are. You forget who you are because your focus is, I just have to have this and then I will be happy. And that's what I learned about life. It's the energy we transmit that is important. Sometimes it's not even in the work we do or the words we say, but in the energy that exudes from our every single cell. It comes from within. It doesn't come from without. We cannot get this from without. It comes from the rays inside our own system. And we have such an incredible electrical system. We got the Kundalini, which is the Holy Spirit, right based where we are here on earth. And it's based so that we can get grounded and understand that we have come to this earth to learn about it, to grow in it, to find our spirit. Because spirit can only know spirit through this body and through this consciousness. We are consciousness, right? They say we are Satchid Ananda. What does that mean? In all our books, that's what it says. Truth, knowledge, bliss. The knowledge is consciousness. Consciousness. Be conscious. Be aware. Be conscious of the energies around us. We are created in light and sound. And through light and sound, this body, became concrete. The cells got the sound, created a form. But it's almost like we are, to be very honest, holograms. And that's why I laugh when people take photographs and you increase the size and it gets pixelated. Pixelated means, lots of, how do you say pixelated? Explain. Dots, yeah. We become like dots. Because really, we are more energy than anything else. We're really more energy than anything else. There are more spaces in us than anything else. And this is the yoga teaching. We get in touch with this electrical system in the right way. And what is the right way? Right doesn't mean good or bad. It just means if you do it, for example, if you want to drive to Cordoba, you need a map. And you can find many ways to Cordoba, right? And you can go the long, windy road, or you can go the shortcut, the motorway. You can decide which way you want to go. So this map, the shortcut, is the right way. The long cut is the wrong way. And what is the wrong way? The wrong way is anything that takes you from that feeling of peace and love. Simply. It's really quite simple. It's not too complicated. So, and what is the right way? That takes you to be the best you can in the rules of, as Sri Patanjali says, the universal laws of nonviolence, of truthfulness, of not taking things that don't belong to you, of moderation and non-greed. Very simple. And all traditions have it, right? What are your enemies? Lust, greed, jealousies, worry, fear. Those are our enemies. There's no God that does it to us. That's a lot of nonsense. Sorry, God. You're in me and I'm in you. Oh, there was a rabbi priest who once said, he said, Lord, without you, there would be no me. Without me, there would be no you. Isn't that just so true? And then I love that. It was just two simple statements that made so much sense to me, because it is true. And that's why we wanted to come to Earth, to experience this oneness that is full. This also is full. This fullness came from that fullness, right? So we came from that. And so, yeah, that's exactly true. And then I really started to see, I read so many books. I studied the Upanishads, I studied the Gita, I studied the Sutras, and I read so many books. And it wasn't the books that gave me the answers. It was everyone. It was all of you that came into my life. It was nature. It was always teaching me all these, that when people broke these rules, when I did consultations for people, when they broke the rules to themselves, and they would say to me, oh, Nalanie, I maybe did this was horrible and that was horrible. I said, you know what? Why do you feel bad? Because you broke your own golden rule. And don't worry about it. You can forgive yourself. And if you hurt anybody, go quickly and ask for forgiveness. So I can't ask for forgiveness. And suffer what to do. When you're ready, you will. You can't force anybody. But really, that is a way out. Forgiveness. Forgiveness is the greatest way out, to free yourself, right? And then I say, the next thing is to really forgive yourself too. Because if you can't forgive yourself, you cannot forgive anyone. So it's not wrong or right, it's adjustment. I like to think of the spirit in our body is like a chiropractic adjustment. And that's what Kundalini does. The Holy Spirit, as you arrive in this right path of changing your life from untruth to truth, from jealousy to harmony, from darkness to light, from hatred to love, as you start to adjust that, the different chakra centers or emotional bodies, they call it the 7 candlesticks in the Catholic tradition, in the Bible, they live in our body. There are candles, literally. There are candles, and they light as we awaken them in the proper way. And my master taught me a really good lesson. He said you should let them awaken naturally by transforming yourself. You can get help if you need, but transform yourself. That's the best way, because then you will understand the energy in your body and what you have to deal with. And we all know, don't we? It's common sense. I watched myself when I started this path, when I had feelings of jealousies. Oh, how nice not to feel that. I mean, oh my God, I'm so grateful. That's freedom. I remember the days when I used to feel it and I didn't even know I felt it. But when I started studying all these things that, oh no, Nalanie, you never even know. You would say, I'm not a jealous person, and you were, And then when I discovered it, oh, I got a stomach ache. You see, that's what's stopping me from going to the higher centers. I need to work on this. So how did I work on this? You know what I was jealous of? It wasn't anything but knowledge. When anybody was smarter than me, I used to go like that. So what I decided to do, okay, I'm going to overcome this nonsense. I'm going to invite those people, my early days, in those days I was living in Gibraltar, to teach us. So by doing that, I decided to learn from them rather than become jealous of them. What a transformation in my life. I loved it. because then jealousy went for forever. And I realized, it's really, I can never be the smartest and I can never be the dumbest, but I'm in middle. And that's great, because it's balanced. Either way, sometimes you got too low self-esteem or too egotistical. Okay, I'm average. I'm so happy to be average because it's, what is my goal? What is your goal? How to find peace, right? We're not looking for anything else, I hope. I mean, well, all the other stuff is part of it. But if you find peace, everything else is added on to you. There was this couple who wanted to get married for a long time, and they couldn't get married because, in India, you have to have the right dowry and right this and whatnot. And finally, the man worked very hard, and her parents managed to get the right dowry. So they were very happy, and they were sitting on a bench, and she was saying, "Darling, I'm so happy we finally got our dream." He said, "You know what? Yes, we got married. But if only we had a few 100,000 rupees more, then I will be happy." And she looked at him and she said, "I thought we were all you wanted in life." Do you see, we miss it. We got what we want and we think there's something better out there. After the moment you got it, you've already forgotten. You want something else. And but isn't that true of life? We're looking for something else. Whereas you got what you want, value it. Value it. And this is what happens in many relationships, right? After a few years, there's no more value. Why? What happens? I don't know what it is about us human beings. We tend to get so selfish. We think everybody should do things for us. Oh, you need to make me happy. You need to say you love me every day. What about we doing for people? Serve first. That's the teaching. My father always taught me, he said, when in our tradition, Hindu tradition, he said, when a man looks after the woman and treats her as Goddess Lakshmi, you treat your partner, whatever, if it's, gay relationships, no difference. There's always one looking after the other more. It just happens that way because somebody else has to look after the home or something. Everything is balanced beautifully if we accept it. And it doesn't matter which man or woman doesn't. But he said, anyway, whoever it is, your partner, if you look at them as the goddess or the god, and you treat them like that, Goddess Lakshmi, our Goddess Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth, spiritual wealth, financial wealth. And if your goal is to serve them, you will get everything you want. And I watched this happen. My father started work at the age of 12. He was poor. He worked in a marketplace in China, and he was the eldest of 8. And he adored his brother. So what did he do? He worked long hours to get food during the war for all of them. And then he would come home at 3 o'clock in the morning, and my grandmother, they all lived in a small place, and my grandmother would tell him, he said, "Mom, I got a bag of rice today from the war." And my grandmother said, "I'll make the rice, but you go out in the street, see anybody outside our house that is sitting, that doesn't have food, and we invite them in." And he would say, "But we don't have that much, we're so many of us." And she goes, "They are our family too." And that's how he was brought up. And that's why in our home we were always taught, no matter who comes in, work or whatever, always offer them something to eat and drink. Always. And don't think, I have to pay so much for this water or this. No, it's not even ours in the first place. If you remember, like I went back to the beginning, it all came from that fullness. And that fullness will remain forever full. So if you're worried about it, it will empty. But if you know it's always going to be full, one way or other, it will come. And you don't even have to ask. Somebody will come and give it to you, right? They will just come. And you don't know how that happened. And you go, how did that happen? They didn't even know. But this is how the magic works, because Whatever you need will be granted to you. And it's this not needing to grab, not needing to take from somebody else, living in your own truth, believing that the divine is in you, and whatever you need will be provided. But you really need to know that. And then whatever talent you have, share. Use it the best way possible, And let all, if you're a great business coach, and share it with other people. Yes, you make money from it. Why not? Other people do too. Great. The more people can make money, the more they can help. Wonderful. Do you see? It's not the job we are talking about. It's not the money we are talking about. It's the energy, which is what I was trying to tell you. If we don't focus on exterior things and focus on the internal journey. And I learned that. Once I went to the ashram, my first trip to the ashram to study Raj Yoga, I was 39 years old. And I went there, and we were 12 people in the course, right? And I was running a fashion business in Gibraltar at that time, so I used to like to dress and put my makeup on, which I still do. I like it, Because as a kid, I was very ugly, and I was always told that. So I always thought I needed to put makeup to look nice. So that's who I am. I accepted it a long time ago. Doesn't bother me one single bit, right? So anyway, I'm giving this talk at the ashram. We all had to give a talk, all 12 of us. I'm giving this talk. And then after we give a talk, everybody has to give a critique. So I was very lucky. Everybody liked the talk. And then one person got up and said, I really like the talk, but I don't like the way you're dressed. So I thought, oh, am I messy? Am I dirty? And she goes, you look too nice. And I thought, hello? I said, so that I look neat and nice disturbs you? And she said, yes. And I asked my teacher, could I answer? And my teacher said, answer her, Nalanie. So I said, we are talking about looking for the divine within. You liked what I said, but you didn't like how I looked. I think you need to question why you didn't like how I looked. Is there a sense of some jealousy there? Because I learned at that moment, wow, I came to this yoga course and I learned the biggest lesson there. She taught me so much. How many times do we judge people by their wealth or by their poverty? Either way. Either way. Both ways. Both ways are not right. And I thought, look at the mind. We come to learn about spirituality, and all the time there was judgment. Interesting, right? So how can there be peace in such a mind? So like I said, I thank all these people that taught me that wasn't where to look. And that's when I understood the power of the mind, how incredible this mind is. And then I said, I want to spend the rest of my life understanding how I can watch my mind think and adjust it for the right road to feel this electricity in my body or connection to the divine awaken. Because all the books tell us it's in us, it's in our system. And so we go through the walk through this system that we're given, this electrical system in this body that can enjoy all the things without getting attached to it. That was another big lesson. When you have what you want, Sri Patanjali tells us, and I love to repeat this because this again taught me such a great lesson. To a man or woman of discrimination. Discrimination means you understanding, you think about things. You think about things a lot, okay? Discrimination. All things are indeed painful. Why? Because you learn that the moment you get what you want, the next thing happens. You develop the fear of losing that which you have. And then there becomes, if you don't watch it, the attachment to it, which causes other emotions in you, jealousy, possessiveness, etc. Oh my God, I thought, what's the point? But then he says, and then my guru explains it in the most beautiful way in the sutra book. And he goes, now that you know everything is going to cause some kind of pain, even if you love somebody and you have a beautiful relationship, one day one of you are going to die. Correct or incorrect? It's the truth. There's no way out of it, right? It is the truth. So even that, so what is left for you to do? Make the most of the present. And that's what it taught me. Again, okay, now that I know this, I'm not going to crave for things I can't have. If I get it, great. If I don't get it, I'm not wasting time. I'm going to enjoy this moment, because this moment is all I have. This moment, like here, I'm with you. I'm going to enjoy this moment. I'm going to give my best if I'm allowed to. And again, also, not up to me. I don't know. I just allow it to happen. So, and that is the moment. And that's how you can find peace. And you appreciate the moment, the gratitude of the moment. And then when you are given gifts and you have wonderful things happen to you like that, like the miracle of the divine source gifting you, you feel so humbled. You don't get egotistical. You feel humbled. And all you feel is gratitude. Then the magic expands. It expands. It goes like a whirlpool. You're not worried about what other people say, or my ex-boss is really upset with me. He won't even call me to say goodbye. Just angry. Nothing. You follow the whirlpool of love instead of, okay, I learned a great lesson from that job. Thank you. Goodbye. Time to move forward in love, in gratitude. And then that follows you. It follows you. It follows you, because that is the right path to the gods. And every religion talks about the right path, the right feelings. And all of them say love is the ultimate healer. But then, love in this world is used so loosely. It's not used with the real selfless service that it should have. Really, if I love you, that's the next painful lesson. No expectation. That's really quite difficult. I was speaking about this yesterday, actually. Chapter 12 of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the yoga of devotion. Lord Krishna, who is the divine in all of us, represented outward in a form of a Lord Krishna, speaks to his disciple, Arjuna, and he says, knowledge is better than mindless practice. What is mindless practice? Many people who are religious or think they're spiritual, they do all this, lots of things, lot of show, without thinking, oh, I'm going to do this because it looks right, blah, 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 blah. Or it's kind of like a show, right? It's kind of like a mindless practice. Superior to that is meditation. Because sometimes with knowledge, people also go a bit crazy. They think they know everything. And I know everything. I never can know anything in this body and this mind. Not possible. Anyway, so meditation takes you to a place internally, because you're going within. You are connected with that higher self that exists in you. You can start to see, oh my God, I'm spirit occupying this body that has a mind of its own sometimes. And I need to know how to work with this mind. That meditation gives you that experience of watching yourself as if you're a different entity. And that's what you are. You're alone. And then he says, but higher than all these practices is a person who gives up all attachment to the results of their action. This is indeed karma yoga, and this brings extreme peace. Tyaga Shantir Anantaram. Complete peace. Why? Because you're given to do. You make an expectation, you will always be disappointed. I love you, so you have to love me back. And this happens a lot. I did this for you, and this is relationships. I've seen this. Oh, I wash the dish today, you do it tomorrow, da da da. But it's done like that. Whereas, if you have a relationship, okay, today you're tired, darling, I'll do it. Tomorrow I'm tired, you do it. And it should be a natural, because it's selfless, right? It shouldn't be counted. And that is selfless love. And we've grown so far from it. We've grown so far from it, so then we can't find peace because it's not selfless. Do you know? That is so nice. You didn't say, oh, we have 4 children, now we're going to marriage, da 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 da, which many people do nowadays. That's the cause of all the arguments that I see. I do it all, you don't do anything. Oh God, so I said, are you basing your relationship on the things they bring in, or because you love them, and you care for them? And if they're going through a difficult time, support them. And then you will be supported, because whatever you put out, you will get back anyway. But when you demand it and expect it, boy, you've lost it. Because the moment you say, I have to have, the person will rebel. Correct or incorrect? You've seen it in your life. Children do that. You have to do this. Not doing it, Mom. Darling, will you fix the bed with me? I'll join you. I'll teach you how to do it. Play a game. They'll fix the bed. There's no screaming, shouting. There's that feeling of, I love you anyway, And this is a gentle way of showing you how I love you. But at the same time, you need to know, you need to do the work too. But when you teach people in love, they learn quickly. When you shout, they don't learn. They get angry. And then both of you get angry, and then yucks, where is the peace? Remember, the goal, the topic here is, how do we find our peace? Sometimes you do something good and you don't get the result back. And when you get irritated, it burns. It burns. You all know this feeling. It burns. What do you do at those moments? Ask yourself, what is more important? Wanting the person to react like I want them to, or to find my peace? Because I can want them to react like this all the time. Please change, please change, please change, please change. Nothing changes, you only hurt your head. We have to do the changing in ourselves. Can't ask anybody to change, and we don't really have that right. I think it's quite insulting to think, and I was like that, so I can tell you, truthfully, it was like that with my husband. I tell this, I must tell it again, you don't mind hearing it again. And when I went to one of my Gurudev's talks, and it made me laugh. Because I'm watching my mind now, right? This is a few years after he's come, and I've gone to the ashram to learn. I'm sitting there listening to him, and he's talking, and I'm thinking in my head, look what I'm thinking. Really? My husband should be here listening to it. I'm thinking about my husband changing and doing all that. And then I stop myself, because I'm doing the practice of meditation every day. So I have the ability now, with the practice of meditation, to see that thought, to see it. And I saw it. And I went, no, he's not here, because it wasn't meant for him. It was meant for me. I am the one who needs to change. That's why I am here. And that is the absolute truth, because when Gurudev first came, met my husband, he was very different. He's a very powerful, strong man, very strong character, but he was very loving. And then 10 years later, he comes and stays with me, Gurudev, and with my husband, and he says to me, Nalanie, your husband has changed 100%. 100%. And I said, I know. And he goes, but guess why he changed? Why, Gurudev? You changed. And that's the truth. Action, reaction, right? It's scientific fact. I was acting a certain way, blaming everybody, thinking everybody else could change. And all the time I was pointing fingers at myself, and I never saw it. And meditation was that great gift, and this science was the great gift, and humanity was the great gift, and life was a great gift, that everything time I went wrong, I got hit bad, I loved it. Best, I used to say, karma, bad karma over. Thank you, universe. I'm not going to do that again. And a wise person will learn from their mistakes. really it's an ignorant person that will keep making the mistake again and again and again and again and say, why me? Why me? I say, why not you? You keep doing the same thing, you'll get the same reaction. What do you have to do? Change your reaction. And then you find, was it that easy? How did I not see it? How did I not watch it? Because we're so busy watching everybody else and we forget to watch ourselves. And that's where we need to find the peace in our souls, in our heart. You know, when we go to bed at night, we have to sleep with this, right? And that's why all the yogic mantras are, may all see good in everyone, may all be free from suffering, right? May, you know, go, but not everybody is good. Yeah, but if you see the good in everyone, then you sleep well. And if they're not good, don't be around them. That's also yogic teaching. Walk away from negative energy. Don't be in negative energy. They'll drag you down. All the great masters teach us that. Even our parents tell us that, right? Don't be with bad friends because you'll start to take this and this and this, and these things are not good for you. They'll manage. Don't go with this crowd. Because, you know, if they're all on drugs, you'll be on drugs. If they're all just getting drunk, you'll be drunk. Go with the right people. And it's true. It's true. And the religious saying says the same. So this is why I love gatherings of love like this, or kindness, you know, where the aim is, I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. We're just one family. Really, really, I hope people think like this. Because for me, it is like this. And in this space and in this time, we are brought together to awaken that awareness so that when we go home as individuals and have our alone time, we can have the peace. We feel the energy of the love that comes from us and the power of that. And the power of that wonderful love that lives within our own souls. So there's really nowhere to go but within yourself. And that's how you find peace. And the more you spend time on your own and, you know, retreat for a bit, just stay back and watch the thoughts that upset you. Question them. Don't worry if you don't get it right the first, second, third time. It's a process. It's a journey, okay? If you get through the journey too quick, bye-bye. So it's a journey. Take your time. Do it right. There are no shortcuts. The shortcuts in you. Because the God is in you and the divine is in you and the light is in you. We come from the same source. And when you're just patient with yourself and loving to yourself, you will be loving and patient with everybody else. And time teaches us a lot. Getting older has taught me a lot. I've seen so many deaths. I've seen so many people leave. I've seen so much pain. I have seen so much joy. I've seen so much laughter. I've seen so much good. This is a kaleidoscope of colors and emotions that I've seen, and I'm so grateful for every single one of them. And I think without the dark, how would we recognize the light? So this is our pathways to peace, or how to find peace. I mean, it's a lifetime. And it's a wonderful journey, because once you start, it's magical. And then all these things, nice things start to happen, and then you go, don't worry, bad things will happen too on the way. You just get stronger because you have these good experiences that give you faith. So when something goes wrong, you know, like in your life, when something went wrong, your faith is what saw you through the difficult time, and you managed to you know, surf the wave. That's all we can do. But when you start to live like that, it's the faith in you grows and grows and grows. And that's why these things are nice to talk about, because then when you have faith, you are strong for the bad times. Bad times come to everyone, good and bad. And we just want to be there to surf it and realize this is the journey called our beautiful life. And nobody can live your life for you but you. So find your peace quick. Don't waste time.